Hey, my name's Ashley Emma. I'm the author of these books here. I mostly write Amish fiction. I'm most known for my book Undercover Amish, and Amish Alias is my newest one. So, a lot of people, I think, who are interested in self-publishing want to know, how much can you make? I think a lot of people think you don't really make money with self-publishing, and I know several people who make well over six figures a year self-publishing. So it might be hard to know. You might be hearing different things. What do self-published authors really make? And I'm going to show you my account. This is a software called Book Report. And if I can get a link from them, like maybe a coupon code or something, I'll put it in the description box. I just emailed them now. But I love this software because it shows you every day specifically what you're making, like right down to the hour. It's very detailed, and it's a little bit delayed. It's better to check sales like the day after. That way it has time to update. Like right now, this is a little bit delayed. I'm pretty sure I've made more than that so far today. It's already 2 o'clock. It really does update towards like either the end of the day or the next day. So this is a good software because inside KDP, you can get a general idea of what you're making for the whole month, but they don't show you specifically every day. It's not laid out very detailed. You can kind of guess, but I like to use this because if I'm doing a promotion or something, I want to know how many books I've sold that day. So it's just a lot more detailed in here. So I will show you what I have made so far. I started self-publishing when I was 16. So, wow, 12 years ago. So you're going to see a number here, and it's actually spread out over really the past 3 years because I started so long ago. This says 2012, but I actually started before that. I started on lulu.com, which is, I think back when I started, either I didn't know about Kindle or it was just starting, or maybe it hadn't started yet. I don't know. That was a long time ago. So I did that for a while, and then I moved to Amazon. And you can see here, when I first started, I was 21. No, how old was I? Yeah, 21. And I was making, I'd make like $66. Sometimes I make $100 a month. And when I first put the books out, it was a little higher like this, and then it would drop down to pretty much zero, like $4 or $5 sometimes. 7 cents a month. And it was mostly nothing for a really long time. I'd make a few dollars a month. And then I took a course called Self-Publishing School, and I did a lot of courses. I think I did that one first, and then I did Nick Stevenson's 10,000 Readers, and then I did, what was his name? The Fan-Based Formula by Adam Hogue, or Hoagie. I'm not sure how you say his last name. It's H-O-U-G. No, what is it? H-O-U-G-U-E, I think. Now I can't remember. But anyway, I took those 3 courses. I didn't just take one because they cover different things. Self-Publishing School teaches you how to like write your book, edit your book, and get it published. And then some marketing, not a ton. They have a separate program for that. That's more detailed for marketing, and I can't remember what it's called. And then Fan-Based Formula in the 10,000 Readers is more about building your audience and building your email list. And they're both very important. You can't sell books without an email list or an audience. So you have to learn both. You have to. So when I took those courses, I launched my book Undercover Amish with basically the way that self-publishing school teaches you. I followed it very closely actually for this first book, and then I kind of did my own thing after, but for that first book I did follow it very closely, and I was so excited. I made $827 that month. I couldn't believe it. I realized then, okay, I can make a living at this, and I want to make sure I'm still recording here. Yes. So it just made me realize, okay, I made the right choice, because for a long time I did pitch that book to agents and publishers. I did have 2 agents that were very interested for a while, for several months, and then I didn't hear from them. Like, they just stopped. It was weird. They just kind of had me change a lot of things, and then I didn't hear from them, and they just I thought they were interested, and I thought they were going to take me on, and then it didn't work out, I guess. I don't know what happened, but that I've heard that happen to other people too. I think they just get busy and they forget. Who knows? So after several rejections, I just decided, hey, I'm going to try this self-publishing thing. I actually talked to an author named Stacy Claflin, who's a self-published author. She's an USA Today bestselling author. She writes several genres, and she's very successful. And this was a long time ago. This was 3.5 years ago. And I emailed her because I loved her book. And she talked to me for a while, and we emailed back and forth. And she was really nice and gave me good advice. And she said, sounds like you're really ambitious and you don't want to wait around for publishers. Not trying to make traditional publishing sound bad, because I really like both. And I am also traditionally published. I'll tell you that later. And my sister is. But it does take a long time. It takes 2 or 3 years per book. And I like to go fast, and I have a lot of ideas, and I have a lot of books written, and I wanted to do it. I just wanted to also do it on my own terms and not have to change a lot of things I will change it if it needs to be changed, But I wanted to have control over my own work. And I didn't realize that at first, but I do. And so I decided to give it a shot and try self-publishing. And when I made that much money that first month, I realized I could do it. And then, as you can see, it did drop, and that's normal. When you first put out a book, it is going to spike really high, hopefully, and then it will maybe drop. I was also very new. I didn't know really what I was doing. And then I put out, was this my second book? I'm trying to remember. Hold on. August. No, this is when I started doing, let me remember which one was which. This was my second book. Yeah, this was my second book in the series. I did put out some other smaller books, but they didn't make as much as the ones that I put out in the series. I do like some standalone books. I did ones of different genres. But as you can see here, and like each spike that you see basically is when I put out a new book in my Amish series, which is, they're full-length novels, and it's one series that is actually 5 books now, but this was a second book. And I would wonder, why are my other books not making as much? They were shorter and they were different genres. If you write in the same genre in 1 or 2 series and then move on to other things, you're going to make more. So whenever I published book 2, book 3, I'd make a big spike, as you can see here and here. So this is when I published the second book in the series. And it spiked high, and then it would go down and down and down. And then this is when we discovered Facebook ads. And my husband took the Mark Dawson, I believe it's called Ads for Authors course. It was about $1,000. I don't know what it is now. I couldn't figure it out. I'm really bad with things like that, tech things. It was confusing for me, and I had a lot on my plate. He took that on. He took the course in a week. He made my ads. As you can see, it worked great. This was not a new book release. This was just adding Facebook ads. We made almost $1,900 that month, and I can't remember what we spent on ads. That was a few years ago. It was like a few $100s, I think. And it was a good ROI. I remember that. And then, as you can see, it went down a little bit. But it started to go up. And then, now let me see, September. Okay, this is when I released the 3rd book in my Amish series. And by then I did have other books up. They just weren't making quite as much. And that might have been around here. I don't remember. 3rd book in my Amish series. This was in September, about 6 months ago. I made $3,200. I was so excited. We went out to eat. I was so happy. And then it went down slightly, almost 3,000 here, 2,800 here. And then these months, December and January, a lot of my author friends were saying their book royalties go down around this time of year. I don't know if it's because of Christmas or winter or what, but that, I believe, is normal, but it went down to $2,000. That's not too bad. So if you can hear my husband laughing upstairs, I'm sorry. I don't know why he's laughing so loud. So I was really happy with this. And then this was a month ago, I released my 4th book in the series. And I released it in the middle of the month. And if I would have released it in the beginning of the month, I would have made a lot more money for that 1 month. But the way it fell during the month, it wasn't like, it looks like I made less, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? If I would have put it out say the first of the month, I would have made more in February, but it ended up kind of rolling over into March. So this is the month that Amish Alias came out. And I had, keep in mind, 1,200 pre-orders for this book. That is why I made this much. The first day it came out, I made $400 or $500. I can't remember, like around $400, I think, because of all the pre-orders. They kind of apply toward the sales rank of the first day and the first few days. So you basically get, not, you don't get paid right then, but it applies to your account the first day or two, I believe. So that's why this month was so high. And then it just started really selling. And then it went up to, what is this, March 28th? So this is the 28th of the month. And so far I've made almost 3,900. So yeah, we're really excited. My book 5 is on pre-order now. It has 600 sales already. I do plan on I want to release probably 4 or 5 more books this year. And I want to try to get to 6 figures within the next year. I have no idea if that'll work. I do have 3 kids, so I wish I could devote more time to it, but I'm with them all day long, and I can only work at night after they go to bed. So it just depends on how fast you go and how willing you are to stick to one genre in one series. This is also fiction. I do have this nonfiction book that sells pretty well, and I have one more that doesn't really sell as great. It's a little bit of a more old school approach to book marketing. I think that might be why. These books I'm going to relaunch. This is a 2-book series. I'm going to make it into one book, change the title, because people think it's a novel and it's not. It's actually a true story. So I'm going to kind of rebrand it, get a new cover. I think I'm also going to add some new photos to it because some of them are blurry, and I think that alone will help it sell a lot better, because I wrote this a long time ago, about 8 years ago, and I did re-edit it completely. I just need to update the photos. So with a few tweaks, I think I can make more with the content I already have published. So I'm almost to $50,000, which is kind of mind-blowing for me. My sister just got her book signed with a very major publisher, which we're really excited about. And it's so different. We both have chosen very different ways of publishing our books. She actually writes a totally different genre, children's books in middle grade, which I actually started out writing middle grade books, like for young adult fantasy. That's what I really, really loved back in the day. And I'm going to do that later on once I have this very established. Right now, the Amish genre is working great for me. I love it. It's kind of like writing like from this modern time, also historical, all into one, because it's kind of like they live in a different time period, but it's actually modern day. So it says also 37 books. That's because a lot of these were older books that I took down and republished into newer versions because they had bad covers and they weren't edited. So I don't actually have 37 books. I have about 16, I think. So, and then I'll scroll down a little bit so you can see what this looks like. There is a pie chart down here. So this is where it says which website is making the most money. I only publish on KDP Select, so that means I only publish on Amazon. I don't do anything else. I don't do Nook or Kobo or anything. It's easier to do it that way. Also, they pay you for pages read. So if you can see here, pages, I have over 5 million pages read. So that makes up for a lot of my income. A lot. Because these books, some of them are 99 cents. And most of them are around $2.99. This one here is around $5. That's the only one that I charge that much for. Because fiction, you can't quite charge as much as nonfiction. I have found, for me anyway, because maybe it's because I'm newer. I don't know, but yeah, pages read make up for. Hold on, let me show you. You can see here the blue is select. That means pages read. The red is actual book sales for ebooks. The black is for print books. So as you can see, I've made $1,800 in March just from pages read, and then $1,300 was actual ebook sales, and then $240 was paperbacks. So yeah, most of my income comes from pages read. It's worth doing KDP Select for me. But also my books are longer. They're around 300 pages. So If you're doing children's books, it might be different for you because they're shorter. So a lot of these down here are my older versions of my books. This one's not even published anymore. It's a fantasy book. I want to redo it one day. This is my old version. Yeah, a lot of these I've redone, so they might not be on there anymore. But this one I published first, so when I took it seriously, I mean, I redid it and everything. I had it edited and I did it professionally. This one I did 3 years ago, so that's why it's made the most. This one came like a year later, and then this one was 6 months ago. This one I put out maybe 2 years ago. And then Amish Alias is my newest one. I just published that a month ago, and it's already made $2,200. So this is just me. It's really different for everyone. I'm not saying you're going to make this or less or more than this. I have worked my butt off for 3.5 years. I have said no to so many things. Like just when friends ask me to hang out, it's kind of sad, but I will often say no and stay home and work because it just depends. If I have time and it's at night and my husband's watching my kids, I will work. And people have made fun of me and say I'm no fun, but it's paying off now. And now I have had a lot more time lately to hang out with, friends and family and do more things. And I do feel like I don't have to work as much because I am making more money. And I also have 3 other businesses. I should say 2 other businesses. I have a salon in my house, and I actually barely do hair anymore because I make more money doing this. So that gave me more time. And then I publish books for clients. I help them with self-publishing and marketing. And I do still do that, but I raise my prices so that I would, on purpose, so I wouldn't have to take on so many clients. So I just work with a lot fewer clients and I can pick and choose who I want to work with. And that gives me much more time now that I've cut back on that to devote to this. Because now I'm making about $4,000 a month. And keep in mind, I am spending money on Facebook ads and Amazon ads. I should have mentioned that. I do have Amazon ads going all the time. Between the 2 of those, I spend about $1,000 a month on ads. So I'm still making about $3,000, a little more than that, profit. So I'm very happy with it. I know it's going to go up a lot this year. Also, I wanted to compare it to last year. So last year, the year before last, actually, in 2018, I made $9,000. In 2019, I made $21,000, so I doubled it. This year, it's only been 3 months. I've already made $10,000. So I'm hoping to make over $40,000 or $50,000 this year, and that's if I don't release any more books. I am planning on releasing 4 or 5 more books, which is gonna pretty much double what I have right now because these are the books that make the most money for me, and the other ones they make some, but not that much. This series, my box set, and this nonfiction book is what makes like 90%. I mean, you can see here, right here, a little bit for this one, and then these are like a small amount. A lot of these are also perma-free books, I forgot to mention, so they don't make any money, but they bring in leads, so they're bringing new readers. If I can release a few more in this series, I'm also starting a new series, two more new series that are Amish. I think I can get to over hopefully 60 or 70,000 for this year. That's a big goal. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I'm going to really try, but I do put my family first, time with my kids first. And if it doesn't get there, that's fine, but I do want to try to get to 6 figures within 2 years. That's my goal. So, and I'm 29. I have 3 kids, ages almost 2 years old, 3 years old, and 5. So they are really little and they really need my attention all day, and 2 of them don't nap anymore. So I pretty much work after 8 o'clock every night until midnight when they're in bed. So I have a very limited amount of time I can work. And today's Saturday and I'm going to work all day while my husband watches them. But if you can work on it a lot in the beginning, more than I did, and devote more time to it, you might get there faster. I really can't say. It's people ask me all the time, how much will I make? How close am I to making money? And I don't know. I can't tell you. I mean, for me, as you can see, it really spiked when I put my 3rd book out, really. I'd make some here and there, it would, spike a little bit, but it wasn't really consistent until here when my third book came out. That's when we saw the big increase, and it did drop a little, but everyone has told me, not everyone, but many successful authors have told me when you put your third book in your series out, that's when you'll see a big spike in royalties. And it's true. That's what I found. So, again, it's really different for everyone, but in the past 3 years, 3.5 years, I've made $50,000. I think this year I'll make well over $50,000, and that's pretty good for a mom of 3 kids who doesn't have a full-time job. I think I'm very happy with it. So let me know what you think. How are you doing in your author journey? How many books do you have out? It's so different. It depends on the genre you write in, how much marketing you do. I also do all my own marketing. I love marketing, actually. I do book funnel promotions all the time. I have a big email list. Well, to me, it's big. I have about 15,000 on my email list that I can sell my books to. I know a lot about ebook marketing. I've studied it for 3 years. I do it for clients. So for me, I do it all. I don't have to pay someone else, so I can do that. But other authors, a lot of them don't want to deal with marketing. I do all my own publishing. I have my own cover designer, and I help her. I pretty much give her the idea I want for the cover. Like for this, I took a photo of an Amish, it's called a prayer cap, and I sent it to her, and I picked out this image of this girl, and, she put it together for me. But I do everything myself. I hire my own formatter, and I'm very, very involved in the entire process. So it is time consuming, but it does go faster, and it's easier with each book you do. So this is my full-time job. People ask me all the time, how do you have time for this? Well, it's my job, so I have to have time for it. So, and I love it so much. I do have 2 audiobooks that are published. I had an agent find me. She saw this book on Amazon and emailed me and offered and said, would you like me to represent you for an audiobook version? And I said yes. And she got me Tantor Media to publish it. So she did these 2 books for me, audiobooks. So those are published with a traditional publisher, but other than that, I do self-publish everything. And I will say I know people who have been published by traditional publishers, like well-known ones, and they have told me I've sold more books than them and I've made more money than them. So don't think just because you get a traditional publisher, you're going to make more. That was my dream for years and years, since I was probably 6 years old. And then this book was actually saving to traditionally publish, and I pitched agents in person, and it just didn't work out. I don't know why. And now it's doing great. It's selling more than, it's number 1 of all the Amish categories right now, and it has been since it released. It's outselling tons of traditionally published Amish books. So I'm really happy with the decisions I've made, and again, it depends on the person. It depends on a lot of things. But anyway, if you have any questions, comment down below, and let me know, where are you in your journey? Everyone's different. So thank you so much. Subscribe if you're new, and click the bell for notifications. My email and website will be down below. If you have questions, feel free to email me directly, and I'll help you if I can. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.